What's good? What's up? What's up? What's up, Nathaniel? And Lucky, what's good? Let me take down this background before I do half the stream and forget to take it down. Oh, shit. Been a crazy day today. I'm actually watching Alpha right now. What I'm doing. Yeah, Schmuck got you guys a nice snipe from the bottom there. I'll actually look to take longs if we can get more confirmation, but depending on how you look at it, this is why I want to cover some market structure basics, because I know everybody is like on the rush for SMC or Choach, Chalk, change of character, whatever the fuck you want to call it. Everybody's trying to use it, and I see a ton of mistakes being made, and there's so many different ways that a lot of these different people are teaching it, and a lot of it's just rebranded, repacked, like different names for the same thing. So what is this? Yeah, I'll look at waves after. Yeah, let's just do waves. Might as well. Let's just look at waves. So whenever you're talking about structure, we'll have to watch the recording. But can I do T on XMR? Yeah, sure. I guess he's not in here. I don't know why I'm talking to him, but Matt asked me to do XMR. I actually was looking at XMR earlier, but a big key with understanding structure is, first off, you have two types of market structure. You've got your swing structure, and then you've got internal structure. Some people use internal structure for changes of character. I found it to work better as long as you know what you're doing. But a lot of people, and I mean like more people than not, even people that know what they're doing trading, I see fucking up with market structure, like a lot. So Waves has some pretty choppy PA right here, but we'll do like this. We'll just do the path icon. So we'll start from over here. We'll just imagine, I don't know what was before this, but you got a high here, right? Here's your old low. So you made a new low. Okay, we had a little pullback. Some people may not even may say this isn't a pullback. I would call it a pullback. Different people have different parameters for what they determine a big enough pullback. I kind of just look at it as, did we see a retracement that had somewhat of a relative a retracement relative to the size of the swing. Like for instance, this swing went all the way down here and then we barely saw a pullback. I wouldn't really probably worry about it too much, but I think this is good. So I'd go there. And then you have, let's see right here. I would look at like that. And this is some choppy PA. So, and then you go to now we're kind of just ranging around here. So that's your swing structure. This is a weird example because it's kind of ugly price action. I mean, it's not, when I say ugly, I don't mean bearish. If anything, this looks better than a lot of coins, but it's just choppy. So we have these major highs. It's kind of like the naked eye, like what the naked eye will see when they're plotting structure. And as long as you're in a market where we're seeing lower lows and lower highs, then you're still a bear. You know, you may find a reversal, and you can pair this with other confluences, like maybe you would be down and more in demand from somewhere over here. I don't know, but until you start to see higher highs, you're still bearish. You can start to see a change of character and maybe catch longs, you know, down at the very bottom. But oftentimes, you're gonna want to wait until we shift bullish and then wait for the retracement. But for instance, with this price action, you know, we're not really or bullish until we break this high, and that's going to be your swing structure. So then, and that's pretty easy. A lot of people get that right. I mean, I still see a lot of people messing it up. But then you have your internal structure. So we'll just start, and this inside bar is going to be a good example. So with your internal structure, it's the same concept as your swing structure. It's just what is a low's job is to make a new high and vice versa. If you don't have a new low, well, you don't have a high. In order to have a high, you have to have a low. Otherwise, everything is just, you know, every wick is a high and every, you know, wick low is a low. But when we're looking at internal structure, we're looking at candles that are in a internal leg of price inside of the main price swing. And you can have this in the 4 hour, you can daily, any time frame. All time frames, anything you do on any time frame can be done on another. But of course, you're going to see more powerful TA done on the higher time frames because you have a bigger data set that you're using. But let me get the highlighter. This is a better tool for this. Where is it? I think I have to change my settings. Haven't used this one in a while. There we go. So if we look here, starting from, we'll just start this inside bar because it's a good. Actually, let's go up here. So if we look here, we'll just start right here. Okay, this candle right here doesn't have. This is an inside bar right here. So for it to say this is a low would be incorrect. Why? Well, because this low did not sponsor a new high. So we have here got a low because why? Because the next candle broke through this candle's high. Okay, then what? We didn't break through this candle's high. Okay, if we look, let's zoom in because. So with this candle, we didn't make a new high, made a lower high. Okay, so this is going to be part of your pullback. So here's your high, here's your low. Okay, we have a low, lower low, pullback. So here would be now your low. So I don't know. Nobody's talking, so I don't know if this is making sense or not. I know it can kind of be confusing. Like I remember when I first learned this, I could not fucking grasp it. But
this from Photon, Brody?
Huh?
I picked that up, but what you're doing right now, I picked that up from Photon.
Originally, the person that I learned it from was Ment a long time ago.
Oh, Ment FX.
Yeah, I mean, really, all of those people, every last one of them is just they're just reteaching ICT is all it is. Literally, that's it.
Yeah. Oh yeah, definitely.
That's
yeah, definitely.
But yeah, exactly. Like a lot of people, but I see so many people in chat that like don't do this right. Like a lot of people,
Yeah,
so many people.
I
But
definitely agree with you.
and then it's like trying to use like order blocks and um,
Mm-hmm.
anything, all this other stuff. Like people, like if you don't understand structure, it's kind of like you'll get good plays. You know what I'm saying? Like people, I see people profiting off shit for sure, but it's like I guarantee it makes for a more stressful trading. Ex- I guess you'd say.
Yeah. Yeah, so I peeped some shit too, right? So I kind of been tweaking this out. So you know how people will usually like me myself, for example, I would usually set like a limit on like a supply or demand, for example.
Hmm.
So what I've been doing is once that a hit, instead of answering it there, I'll wait for like a lower time frame. Like let's say I got a demand or supply in a 15 minute. I'll peep a 5 minute and wait for like a charge breaker structure and then play the RTO of that for like an extra confirmation
Yeah,
instead of just playing that limit on the actual supply
Yeah.
slash demand.
Instead of using a risk entry, you're using a
Yeah,
confirmation entry.
yeah,
yeah,
because them
exactly.
supply demand limits, bro, like that I was set. Some of them would just get violated just because not every supply slash demand is gonna hold the way it is. You probably get like some type of reaction, but not the reaction you really want to see and shit.
Yeah, I mean, it's just all goes with your style too.
Exactly.
Cause
That's facts.
I
So,
feel like everybody when they learn, like when I first was getting into like SMC like last summer, right? Like
hmm
I think it was the first thing that got me in, introduced to it was using order blocks, and I was like using order blocks, but I wasn't really like I knew that I didn't fully understand. Like I was like, okay, well I get it. I get the concept that there's algos and BFIs that are putting orders in here, and not all of them got filled. So when price comes back here, they're gonna get filled. I got that concept, but I wanted to understand more about it. And when I first learned about it, I learned about the confirmation enter. Somebody I can't remember if it was meant or people call it different shit. Like it's all
yeah.
just called. It's the same shit, but everybody just either they rebrand it and make it. There's two types of SMC teachers, and there's one that I don't like, and then the others I do like, regardless if they're copying someone or whatever. Like there's
hmm
some that try to make it too complicated because they want you to like depend on them, and that shit's annoying as fuck. Like, to be
Yeah, that's
honest,
facts.
I won't even lie, Matt does that to a point, but I still like his shit because he does have a very good perspective on things. But he tries to like use bigger words. You know exactly what I'm saying. Like
Yeah,
anybody
yeah, yeah,
who's
I know what
tried
you
to
mean.
learn
Uh
this
huh.
shit, it's
It's
like
like it's like to kind of hide it in a way, but like either you pick it up and you feel me. It's like they teach it in a way that everyone's not meant to understand, and they don't want everyone to understand it. Type
yeah.
shit.
I feel like
It's
a
the
lot
people
of
that's
them
really gonna digest it.
they just want people to like view them as like I don't know, like
Jesus.
yeah, exactly. It's
Yeah,
like it's
yeah,
just
for
like,
sure.
bro, like you don't have to do all that. Um, but you um, this
Like I can give you a funny ass example, right? So like me, for example, how I R's, right? And then you're gonna have people like, what the fuck is an FR? You feel me? But it's all for the
We
person
know.
that I learned. It's all for the
Yeah.
person that I learned it off of, and it's like you feel me. Like
I
I'm gonna
got
just
that
start
question
do
today,
it,
bro. I got that
and it's
question today while I
the
was scalping
fractal
NASDAQ.
refinement or failed,
dude,
like
speaking of
failed reaction,
Nasdaq,
fractal
holy
refinement.
fuck! Did you see that shit, Algo? I'm sure
Yeah,
you
it's
did.
I wish
Yeah,
I
we
had
can
a
catch
short
moves
one.
off this. We can catch moves off Nas. Some good
Look at that
moves.
shit,
You
bro.
sleeping?
Look at that
Super.
shit.
My
Yeah,
highest profit on there was 14K in one move.
what is it? Well, you don't play. Do you play on like a broker? Or do you don't? I can't. I think you play on a broker.
I have my prosperity account that I mirror the trades on, and then I play with my prop account, and then I also trade on my TD Ameritrade, depending on how good the move is. If it's really good, I'll open everything I have and have the same position.
Hell yeah, yeah. Because like I know that minis are one of them's what is it? $50 a
Yeah,
tick?
I have a 100K account.
Like the prop one?
Um, yep.
Hell yeah. I've
I've had it.
honestly
I've had it
thought
since
about it.
before the pandemic.
I thought about
Uh,
doing a prop one because I want to start trading forex, but like I don't want to like pull my money out of futures. And plus, to be honest, I fucking despise trading anything except Bitcoin on MT4. I'm not gonna lie. And even then, it's like, it's fun and I like it because just the format and it's MT4. But the spreads, like trying to do some of the way that like these 1 minute entries, like just not even. It's like pointless almost with most. I don't know, but the broker or the spreads are the same. I mean, Prosperity wasn't terrible, but at the same time, it was like that shit would be like $60 off, like a lot of the time, like 60 to $80, like spreads. So it's like fuck, bro. Like a lot of my stop losses, it's like my whole stop loss doubled now. But I want to trade forex more, like because I have a little bit. I moved some to my Prosperity account, but it's like not that much to where it's like it's almost just like a
You don't
tease.
really need much. That shit turns into a lot of money very, very quickly.
Yeah, I traded euro dollar. Like I hadn't even traded forex, and I looked at euro dollar. Like this is like I don't even know. It was recently, but I was like, holy fuck, this shit is so much easier and better price action than Bitcoin. And the more I look at all forex, really euro dollar is like that shit is like the easiest fucking thing
You gotta
ever
look at
to trade.
GBP, JPY. That's probably the fastest moving.
Major.
Yeah. It has like it's ridiculous. Your stops need to be wider on this thing because the swings are more violent. I don't know why. I would think that Euro USD, but nah. GBP.
Hey, I was thinking euro as well. I know euro be good moves.
Yeah, this shit loves the liquidity rate. Europe.
How about US 30?
Look at this.
What do you think about
US 30?
US? Yeah.
You gotta have years under your belt to trade that.
And
Don't
even
even
then,
think of
it's
that.
just like, bro, trade fucking Nas instead of US 30. That shit's like
Yeah.
kind of. I mean, it's
US
cool,
30,
but
don't get me wrong. You can catch like 4,000 pips a day, but you just have to know what you're doing. Like I tried it with this strategy and it's just too violent. Like
yeah,
it's fucking great. You gotta be a breakout trader in a sense if you're trading US 30 because you gotta ride that wave. You can't try to like get in at the order block because the pullback. You know how it does liquidity raids on order blocks, bro.
Mm.
You need like 100 pip wide stop on that thing.
yeah,
You look
bro.
at your
Like fuck that.
P&L. I'm on a 10 lot, and I'm like, oh my god, I'm gonna lose.
Yeah, dude. I traded US 30 a long time ago when I first started fucking with MT4, and I made money and then I lost it right back. And I was like, all right, I'm good on it on US 30. That was a long time ago though. That was before I even really was anywhere close to the confidence of shit I'm at now. At least like now I would trade. Like let's just look on. I haven't honestly looked at this shit in a fucking while. Which feed should I use? Maybe Oanda? No. I'll just use currency.com. Whatever. Last one I marked. What are these lines? It's funny when I go on a chart I haven't used forever.
Right there.
What is
I
this?
just found that's a giant creek.
I had it marked for some reason. Because the last time I did TA on this was July. Oh, actually, I remember this. I do remember. I think Playboy and me both were trading this one day. We were just like fucking around, and we were like, yeah, let's see. If I remember right, it went well. Oh, it went kind of well, and then it didn't. It went well at first. I think this was the TP right here. Yeah, it hit like one TP and then just completely turned around. But I'm gonna delete all this TA. So US 30, it's like what? So this is just the Dow.
Yep. But it's such a big. It's worth so much money.
Yeah.
It's basically like trading Bitcoin, but with assets behind it. And that's the price target, by the way, where you just highlighted.
Yeah, for sure.
If you look at SPX, so if you look at the S&P, we're doing price target for me. TP1 is 366.50, TP2 340, TP3 278.
Are you just swinging shorts?
Yeah, small lot shorts on Prosperity.
Hell yeah.
They're up like 150, $200. You know, it's not This is a small lot. I'm playing a 0.5 on a $2,000 account, so it's not moving.
Which prop firm do you? I want to kind of, because what is it? You only have to throw like what, like 2 racks for like a 400K account or some shit like that.
No, it's $600 for
Really?
100K. Yeah,
And
there's
then
pros and cons to it. You
yeah, I'm sure.
can't, if they feel like you're too violent, like you have limits with the thing. You can only risk, like personally, I only risk 3%. I have extremely tight stops, just because if they feel like you're trading too aggressively, they'll pull your account. Um, so like I'm very cautious with
What
that
are the
shit.
parameters like?
No more than 10K loss in no, sorry, no more than 2 or 5K loss in a month. You have to make 5% of the port, and you have to trade, I think, like 10 or 20 days out of the month, depending on who you get. And you have to practice good risk management strategy, because it depending on who you have, they either um, tell you it's different. Because like the one I have is like they'll tell me I'm funded and like my account is funded, but it's not really funded until like a year and a half from now, when they see that I have like, a year or two of making money for them. That's when they give you a real like, yo, here's $1 million. Let's
Right.
go. Um, and there's a very few traders that have like one of the services. There's only 3 people that have gotten paid out. And it's a
Yeah.
big company, but there's only 3 people that after their first payout they continued to getting paid consistently. The average statistic is if you hit one big trade, the likelihood of you losing your account within a month is like 90%,
Jesus.
because you get too aggressive and emotions take place. Like when I was reading the statistics, I was like, God damn.
There's a reason they do it.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's good but bad. I have it on the side just because, you know, I can screenshot P&L like, oh, I made 15K. Like, yeah, I'm gonna get paid out. Don't get me wrong. I'll get paid out and it's my money, but it's not my money.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So,
Right.
and at any moment they can say, all right, fuck you. It's like, what?
Yeah, see,
So
that's the
that's why I
thing that,
tell
like, I don't
Manny,
know.
I'm like, yo, you got to build both accounts at the same time. Your private account and your prop firm. The prop firm is just paying your bills. Your investment account's your investment account. That's where you buy your dividend paying stocks. You reinvest into divvy paying stocks. Like fuck everything else. Dividend stocks will outperform any portfolio, because statistically speaking, when somebody gets really good at trading, they have a limit to where when they get burnt out, even if they take breaks, because it's a psychological game, you know. So you have to build that psyche for you to continue having those exponential gains. Um, so yeah, that's why dividend portfolios outbeat, you know, trade anybody that day trades, because your divvy portfolio will reinvest in itself, and 10 years from now it'll keep compound growing, versus taking like some big losses and trying to make it up with the next trade that has good RR. And it's just based on people that have like you can go pull up the statistics when you get the chance. Just go on Google and type in prop firms, and it's going to pull up. I think there's like 6 or 7 of them. They all have different requirements. You don't have to start off with a 100K account. You can do 10K, and it costs you like $50 for 10K. And if you pass the 10K account, obviously you could do the 100K account, and you can use the money from the 10K account to pay for the, next account. And the
Right.
200K account costs $1,000.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's
I
all
Jeez, that's dope.
what you want.
I kind of
It's all
just
what
want
you
to trade Forex. Like, if it's $600, I'll probably end up doing that soon.
want.
I just
Yeah,
like,
because you could trade Forex like on your own broker and not have to. Because one other thing, you can't trade through volatility events.
like
So
NFPs and fucking
yeah, you
yeah.
can't trade FOMC, any of that shit where it's gonna like go violently. Like I did it and I almost failed my test because of that. And it wasn't even on purpose. Like I had to leave the position open till the next day to be able to close it. And it was
Mm.
like nerve-wracking. Luckily I played the direction, you know. But if not, oof, I would have ended in drawdown, lost the account, and it's just I would have been pissed. And you know how that translates to your trades and shit.
Yeah,
You know,
that would suck to to lose a
for
prop
some
trading from you.
stupid
That'd
mistake.
fuck
It's
your
like, oh,
trading cycle up like a
it's like, what
motherfucker.
shit PMI comes out today? Fuck, I can't close this position.
Yeah, that would suck.
It's just watching, but you guys got this. Pretty simple. I like using my own money and using others' money in a combination, you know.
Yeah.
If it's too risky, I use their money. If it's like I will make money, then you know.
Sheesh.
Honestly, SPY, I mean,
It's not looking good.
yeah, I mean, you could get some relief. I mean, like, you'd be trading counter trends. You have to take shit really aggressive. I'd trade, like, to this
Well,
gap,
it's
maybe.
gonna fall because of
All the shit.
Snapchat
Yeah.
earnings. So Snapchat came out and gave really bad guidance for like internet marketing, and that took Facebook down, Microsoft, what's the other one? Twitter, DWAC, all of them. They just lost like some stupid market cap overnight. Not even overnight, in like 30 minutes. It was crazy. It's crazy.
Yeah. No,
I
for
think
sure.
Scorpion pointed it out.
Yeah, I saw him talking about that. I wish if it wasn't for that, I would say something like this.
Yeah,
But
I have
with all the
calls because I thought we were gonna
fundamentals,
go to 410, or not 410. I saw 406 to 409.90 or something like that. I was confident in it, but right now, hmm, I'm probably gonna be trading Scorpion calls tomorrow. Right, Scorpion? Where he at? I know he in
Yo,
here.
Casper, that low key what you just drew, low key look like some
the AMD.
WVVM.
Yeah, or well, see, there's I don't even is that like I'm just gonna draw it again. So it's probably the same thing. Like either
It's like
here
an
or here.
accumulation markup to distro.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
And then you
exactly.
got the distro markdown accumulation, which is the MAAW.
Yeah,
Basically, like the markets, the main structure cycles and shit.
that's what I would like here. I mean, you might even see it off this, to be honest. But this is looking like that because, I mean, it's like textbook as fuck. Like you came down to demand, broke structure, right? You're gonna probably see a deviation down, maybe, preferably here. What is this? Hold on. Whatever high we make, if this is the high, I would rather you come into discount because that's not there, or you could just make a little bit of a higher high before you come down. Just engineer liquidity on both sides, flush out early longs, fill these inefficiencies. I mean, I wouldn't play this without like instead of the way I usually play these, um, would be to play this with like a stop under the most like recent internal low. Um, and I know for those of you who are wondering about internal lows, my bad, I got completely sidetracked. I went from internal lows to prop firms. I was like, oh, prop firm. But here in this situation, usually I would just use this internal low, which would really be this order block, right? Like the bottom of the order block. But in this situation, just because everything is so bare and it's a counter trend trade, I would probably wait for come down here. Um, really, I'll redraw this to not confuse anybody. I would look for a internal, at least an internal market structure break. Once we came down here, maybe come into it a little more, then break this, and then play the supply or the demand that sponsored that internal break, or whether it's internal or swing structure, whatever. And then you'd be looking to take it up to the inefficiency, not just take it at the beginning, trimming heavily along the way. Right, these equal highs pretty heavy. Um, these setups have been playing very nicely on indices and Bitcoin lately, but you know you got to take it with caution. Like for instance, if this was a pro trend move, I would probably take just limits off the initial inefficiency fill. But I'm waiting for anything where we have, something that's going to be trading against the trend. You want to wait for confirmation. Really, you want to wait for confirmation all the time. Speaking of, I hope I didn't. Fucking alpha, dude. I'm not going to touch it unless it comes where I want it to. Has some time still. Like to see it range here. I mean, we're in Tokyo, so it's like I really would rather not take trades, but If it comes, I'd look for it to come up in here and see a shift of structure to the downside. I mean, you could really move a long ways down without. Actually, I don't know. We'll see how this plays out, but I do have my eyes on alpha. Anytime we have this pump like this on the, right around the daily open or somewhere during Tokyo session, usually you're going to see it pump up, mitigate, and then hang around or get close to it. And then during the London session, you'll see that Tokyo high get purged and then London expansion. And then if you don't get in there, New York retracement up to, somewhere close to the high, maybe between 2 and 4 a.m. Eastern time, and then more continuation. Usually, it's not like set in stone, but dude, everything is just so fucking just ugh. Like I went to the beach literally like I think it was like the 13th or the 14th, and I came back and I was like looking at the 4 hour and shit. And I was like, damn, this shit is just like most shit. Everything except Bitcoin really is just like dead, bro. Like Bitcoin's ranging still kind of boring, but you're getting this displacement here. And I mean, for those of you who are wondering, I'm still pretty bearish on everything. Like I don't see anything really. The only thing I see potentially bullish here is if we we did make a higher high in the 15-minute. Like, and this is what I was saying earlier. Is Ozeki in here? He's not. But when I was talking about swing structure being fucked up, like in the 15-minute, for instance, you had like we had this low. We'll start over here. I fucked it up, but you guys get the picture. Son of a bitch.
Take off your magnet.
I like using it, but I fucked it up that time.
Actually, you could just hold control when you.
That's what I'm doing. Somebody actually clicks that, you're a psycho. Drive me crazy. Straight up, bro. But look at this. So this is where I'm saying the swing structure is fucked up, bro. Like, depending on how you draw a swing structure, there's different ways to do it. Some people would just draw it with pullbacks. I mean, to me, this is just the swing structure.
Yeah, measure the pullback. Some things have, like for instance, Euro USD on a 15-minute. I would measure a 15 pip pullback, and then that counts as the swing structure.
For swings for me, I just need I have to see like for instance, a lot of people over here, like this would be a swing and this would be a swing, but to me it's not. This is just internal structure because this is still your swing high. But like here, like look, this is our swing high. This is how fucked up swing structures and the way I do it. You're literally looking at this. You could look at this, this, this. So it's like, dude, that is some fucked like when we were here, like all the way like until we cleared this high, you were still bearish through all this on the 15-minute. Now we cleared it. We did get a closure, so you got to break a structure, but I mean, it was just, in my opinion, looks more like a liquidity raid. But I mean, if we come down here and we start to see a change of character in this point of interest, I mean, and I'm using the wick for the high time frame, and you could refine it probably even more, but just kept it as that wick. Either way, if you draw it, I guess you could go down to here and it hit that, wicked into there. But that's why, like I was saying, swing structure in Bitcoin is just so fucked up, bro. It's like ridiculous. And this is on the 15-minute. Like, so now at this point, if
maybe
we were
if you use CME, do you think that'll be better for swing structure? Because I was talking to this other dude, and him and I agreed that this is completely different market structure than regular. Just because this has breaks in it,
Yeah. I mean, it's still fucked though. Like if you look, I mean, it's really this part specifically is like similar at least. I mean, because it's like bam, bam. But then this is what the fuck. It really is though. I guess because the weekend gap. It's like wake. You have like here. Yeah, it is different for sure.
Yeah, so this is where the hedge funds trade. They don't touch our perp contracts. They touch this shit right here.
I just fucked this
during market hours, and they go crazy.
Yeah, this was the
as you can see by the price action. Yeah.
Yeah, and then you go. I mean, literally, it's like down here. Bam.
Bam.
I would almost consider this on this chart just below.
Right there, for sure.
But it's like, dude, like, it's like fucking, dude. Bitcoin's ranging like a fucking Chad, bro.
Yeah, that's a wide range.
Like, but it's good though. It gives us like, it's crazy because usually Bitcoin is like, you know, a little bit more of like stable. But if you look at other coins right now, like in my opinion, this is way more fun to trade than a lot of shit. I mean, definitely also give you like better percentage yields and shit, but it's like your risk to reward and shit, and just like the volatility is fucking ridiculous. I could almost catch some or see some of the AMD here too, and also that'd be confluenced with SPY, but it would just be relief. Like I'm not really bullish at all. Like going back to what I was saying, like the 4 hour, go to perps, grab it marked up. We have like yeah, we are in discount here, and we've been just hugging equilibrium. Like if this same structure was just hugging premium, I would be like, okay, yeah, we're definitely in distribution. And I'm not really the biggest Wyckoff guy. I mean, I like it. I'm not saying I don't. I mean, it obviously works, but I'm not. It's just not really like my thing as much. I think it's really just like it's gaining an understanding of manipulation. So I think it's important. But as far as certain things, I'm just looking at structure, you know. And at this point, internal structure. I mean, obviously, we just switched to bear. If you're looking at the 4 hour, because go back to what we were saying before. So if we have um, our internal structure, and this is what a lot of people use for change of character. It's really up to you how you do it. Um, I recommend on like the 1 minute using your swing structure for change of character most of the time, and same with 15 minute. But change of character, for instance, here we have this low. Here's your low. Here we have a high. This candle failed to break its high, so it's part of the pullback. And if you look right after this candle, we broke through its high, so that makes it a new low. Look at that, new high. Bro, this candle failed to push through this one, and then if you look past it, the next candle broke through it, so that's going to be your new low, new high. This pullback here, this doesn't count. This is inside bar, and this didn't do anything, didn't break structure down or up. If you look, we don't have a new low until if we look right here, we made a low, and we cleared out this previous candle. So now we have a low there. Now if this candle would have wicked under this, it would have continued until we didn't see a candle breaking through these lows. So here we have low, and we've got a high. So that would technically right here be a change of character if you're going by this. And obviously you don't use this by itself. It's just going to give a lot of false signals. But you can say your internal structure for a split second there's shifted to bear, and then you can quickly see, okay, high didn't make a new high, so this is part of your pullback. So if you look, what candle sponsored this new high? Not this one, because the candle after it didn't break its structure. So it's going to be right here. There's your low, high, low. Why is this a low? Because it made a new high. So then you look over here. Oh, if you look right here, we started making lower low. So is this your low? No, because why? The next candle broke its low. Oh, is this your low? No. And if you look right here, this still isn't a low. Why? Because this is an inside bar. Or it's probably going to be, you can anticipate this is starting to pull back, but you don't really have a confirmation until we break above this wick, or if this candle closes and the next candle pushes through it. So right here, you definitely shifted. You had a 4 hour change of character if you use internal structure right there. And you can use wicks or candle closes, totally up to you, but I'd use wicks. That was your change of character on the 4 hour. That's why a lot of people I see doing internal structure or just structure in general do not do it right. And you can use that on anything. Like that was a 4 hour. It's gonna be a little choppy. It's like every other candle. You can do the same thing on the 15 minute. So like, you know, okay, if you're doing swing structure, like the way what I would look for to play, you know, the way that everybody plays change of character, I would, you know, this is what you'd be looking at, right? Because this is your swing high. Well, really your change of character, if you look, so you had made a low right here, candle breaks the previous candle's high, this one does the same, this one does the same, this one doesn't. Next candle breaks its high, got a new low. What is this right here? Made a new high, and then after what? You break down, lower low. lower low, lower low, till here. So there was your bearish change of character right there. Well, actually, I shouldn't say change. Really, if you're starting up here, you would add a high all the way up there. So right here, you had a bull character, I guess, very briefly, because you made a higher high that quickly got erased. Now you have a new high. Oh, we pushed through. This candle broke its low, new low. You can sit here and do this. Now, what does this, does this really mean anything? I mean, yes and no. If you just do this and expect to trade off of this, up in here, like or in random areas, it doesn't matter because you're not pairing it with any kind of supply or demand. And all it really can show you is that we might be about to shift direction. Now, usually, a change of character on the 15-minute is going to be a break of structure on the 1 minute. A change of character on the 4 hour is going to be a break of structure on the 15-minute. Not always, but usually. But for instance, with we're looking for, a shift and structured along like a confirmation entry. If you're going to do multi-time frame, here I use the wick. I like using wicks on high time frames almost always. I'll use the body, but I would rather get into the wick. So, and yes, I know it's not a down candle. Everybody does things differently. I look at this like from a more of a practical perspective. Um,
Oh, stop.
Demand enter the market right here. I mean, I'm very confident that you could also say, oh, it was over here in this candle, but you can refine this. You go in like we were doing earlier, and then oh, look there, you got demand. You can do you can do the range. You can do this candle right here, whatever, whichever use price came into it. So now, I refined it to a minute, like a 15-minute time frame or POI. So usually it's like, oh well, it's just a 15-minute POI. Why are you looking for a reversal there? Well, I refined it from a high time frame point of interest. So I'm going to still leave it high time frame. And at this point, if I'm on a high time frame point of interest, especially if I'm trading counter trend, um, I would wait. I mean, you guys caught a snipe, so I mean, like you guys are already up, whatever. You guys have made money, but if I didn't catch that, and I would wait for a break and structure. Now, from where we're at now, I would need something like this: break up here, come down to demand that sponsored said break, second break of structure, confirming the first wasn't a liquidity grab, and then boom. That's where my entry would be at um, if I were to enter now. If you guys caught the bottom, and there's just different styles. Like if you catch the bottom, even if say for instance, if that setup does happen, and then I wait till up here, people are like, oh well, you got in way down here. You know what I mean? That's you're gonna be up farther. It's just different trading styles. You know what I'm saying? Like some people use the 15-minute order box, and honestly, lately has been fucking smacking. Like just set and forget, especially when you're trading pro trend. Like 15-minute order blocks for 4 hour zones is like that shit is the sauce. Like for instance, over here, this is a day trade I took earlier this morning. Took the similar one on ETH. It's like a mix of ICT and just supply and demand, I guess. So every morning when I'm trading Bitcoin, when I look to trade the London close, because I don't really get up early enough sometimes to trade the New York Open. I'd like to. If I start trading Forex, I definitely will. But you need to be like in front of your computer by 6:45 a.m. New York time. But here, you wait until one of these sides of liquidity gets rated. Usually, um, say if you're on a buy day, like you think that day is going to go higher, you're going to look for a rate of the lows and vice versa. I mean, you can see here, that's not how it went because it's going to be around 10, 10:30. So right here, we rated all these lows. Broke structure here, cleared all this liquidity out, everything. And then you came into this demand. You even cleared, actually, no, it didn't clear the low. But, you could have just set a limit there. And yeah, you would have probably been up more. But, so the risk to reward, I think it hit a little, it was like around almost 5 or something. But if you would have taken longs here, even at the full target, it would have been lower risk to reward. But you would have been up the entire time, less work. There's just different styles. But when price came back down into this demand, we swept liquidity. Usually, what I would look for here is a internal internal market structure break with a fair value gap. Now, we really didn't have, like, you'd look for the first one. We didn't really have good structure here. For instance, like, we didn't have a good high to break. Like, yeah, this one. We broke it, but we didn't break it. There's no displacement here. So if you're using like the ICT setup, you didn't really have a trade here in this setup. And then over here, you kind of did, but as you can see, it didn't get hit. You can, the reason that I like using these double confirmations whenever you're trading counter trend is because you're going to get a confirmation trend is shifting. You're also going to get a really strong demand zone that pushed through and broke supply. So you're going to get that flip zone. This was kind of a finicky one. I would say that the supply was probably in this wick right here. So this was the demand that pushed us through that supply. The imbalance in the market shifted. Price came down. It hit pretty close, and then should have taken profits in full here. I didn't. I took like 50%, unfortunately, and then got stopped to break even. But whatever. Pretty quick, satisfying trade. But we saw, and this is the reason I'm getting into this is referring down to where we were just at with Bitcoin. You want to wait for these confirmation entries because a lot of times, whenever you're trading counter trend, you're not gonna have those impulsive, satisfying trades, and they might not even play out in your favor because you're going against the trend. Notice how we have when you look at, okay, shorts. When you short in this market, you fucking print. It's like instant. You're up. It's like holy shit, we're pumping, but we're not pumping. And yes, longs sometimes do that, but yeah, it's pretty clear to me. What is this? Oh, might have opportunity. This one, I would definitely wait for a double confirmation just because. So like now that we're in this supply, I just drew the last two candles. I'd wait for a change of character on the 1 minute. Let's see if we can get it. I'm actually going to keep my eye on this. But the main reason being, if you look here, we got a break of structure afterwards. It did sponsor a break of structure, but we didn't really get a flip zone, these second breaks of structure because we just completely pissed down. Left a lot of inefficiencies here as well. Yeah, on the 15-minute and the 4-hour, we are in a premium, no matter how you draw it. If you're using those two time frames for swing structure, so it's not the craziest setup. It's also not the worst either. I would wait, if anything, for a double confirmation before I would even think about this. Ape's probably doing the same thing. I actually popped out the other watch list today. Ape's flying. If you get these those double confirmations on Bitcoin, especially, you'll probably see us run up and possibly even rush all the way back up to fill all these inefficiencies. And I'll definitely take some longs from in that scenario. Because here, like I was saying, we could be setting up with one of those AMD setups. It would not surprise me at all. But I'll wait to see how that plays out. Why did I get a fucking alert on Ape right here? I don't know why I put a line right there. That should be up here.
What's the purpose of the IB?
The inside bars?
Yes.
Just helping identify internal structure. Because, for instance, so like here, I favorite this. I actually like the highlighter a lot. So like here, you'd have, we're making lower lows, right? And then we don't make a lower low here. So when we do make, so we have lows, right? And then when we come down, we make a new low. Well, what's going to be your high? Well, it's not going to be this candle. Most people mess up and say it's this candle, but it's this candle because after that was when we started to see more downside. Candles are making lower lows. So, and then on vice versa, here we have a new low. right? Because why? The next candle after it broke through its high. Oh, higher high. Nope. And this inside bar will help you with this, because a lot of times you're just going to see this as a leg move up, and you're going to say, oh, this was a move up, when it's not. This was your high. This was your new low, because this candle failed to push through this candle's high. Then this one pushes through, so that makes this a low. Same here. This candle did not push through this candle's high, so it is now a new low. This candle pushed through, it's a high. I know some of you guys are probably like, what the fuck is this dude saying? But I promise you, it's once you can identify that and learn it, you will be much more confident in using your change of character. And whenever you decide to look for pullbacks, you know, they don't really matter. It's not like you need to mark this up on your chart, but the only ones that matter are the ones that are in a POI, right? Like, so for instance, if you're in the 4 hour and you're in a daily POI and you see a shift, well, okay, now it's time to go into the 15-minute. Oh, it's probably a break of structure. Oh, okay, well, we might have the framework for a trade. That's just kind of, you know what I mean? So that's why I use the inside bar, in short. I really want
Yo,
to
the inside bars, I love the inside bars, bro. Them shits is gas.
Yeah, I really want a lot of these coins to fly back up to. I mean, if they just flew up, that would be ridiculous. You'd have some crazy opportunities for shorts. Honestly, ETH looks better than Bitcoin at this point, in my opinion. Let's see where we're on the 4 hour though. Similar setup as Bitcoin. Actually, it didn't really even come down into this area. It's a weird one. Use this candle, I guess. Oops. If you don't refine it though, it did come into supply. Or sorry, demand. You have that huge inefficiency above. Just trying to see if that was a bearish candle or not. I'd probably include the wick in there. Just in the 1 minute. There you go. A little more closure, preferably. Let's go 4 minutes. See, at this point, what I'm looking for is us to get a closure above this high, giving us that second break of structure. Once that happens, okay, we come back down into this POI on the 1 minute. We get the same thing over and over again. Same, just double confirmation. Doesn't want to look like it wants to close. A lot of times with crypto, I've noticed you'll still get the same, like, if you're, depending on how you determine if you have a break of structure or not, if you only use closures. I've found that using closures on 4 hour is good, but the 15-minute, a lot of times you can still get, it's still a break of structure, or price will still react like a break of structure without getting that candle close. Honestly, I'd probably just leave this candle. I wouldn't even refine it. Just do like that. So once price comes back in there, so like you could have played the first one. So right here. So price came back into this initial POI right here. And depending on if you use internal or external, you got your change of character really right here on this high if you're using internal. I mean, it's all about style. Like if you want to use internal for your, your 1 minute, I prefer to use swing structure, but like in situations like this, it's really ugly ass price action, and I would consider this. That's what I would use personally. But if you look, I guess you could say this. It's really just kind of choppy here. You got came back down into this demand right there on the 1 minute. It's like the same thing. It's just price is fractal, right? You came down in the 1 minute, then you look for the supply that sent you down here, which is going to be this wick. So what broke that supply? What sponsored that break? Well, it's going to be this wick right here. Oh, look at that. Played that wick. Could have played equilibrium since it's kind of a bigger area. Perfect. And it's like that. It's not that hard. You just got to be patient. And you could have already been in and out of this trade, depending on your style and what your goals are at this. Did there, what is that, 118? So I'd go down to like 175.95, go down like 10 pips or so. You could have just taken that right there. 7.3% of your portfolio, right? A little less after fees because you're using a pretty big position. I'd have been like the full port on 10 or 15x. And I mean, it's that easy. But you just got to be patient and be also very quick and decisive if you're scalping like that. So for here, what I'm going to look for though is, looks like we didn't get that close. I'll wait and watch. I probably won't be doing much tonight. I'm going to get off the computer. But you guys should watch this. For those of you who are going to stay up in DGen, you guys should watch. Like what I would here is a return down to, I'd look for this bottom candle. So once you get down there, wait for a 1 minute change of character. It's the same thing. I mean, you could play limits from there if you really wanted, but preferably I would wait until, let's see where that 15-minute zone. Really, once price comes anywhere within this gray zone, you see the same structure. You're making higher highs instead of lower lows. You do that twice, play that flip zone, boom. That's how you're gonna. It takes a while, and I will say some people like get frustrated. Like I've gotten frustrated before, like waiting forever, and then it just leaves you. But it's part of the game. If you're gonna be conservative and take those, super tight stop loss entries, it's gonna happen, and then sometimes you get stopped out on them, and it is what it is. But the thing is, the reason I like playing like that is because you take one trade that hits really well and it pays for all your losses and then some, and usually very quickly. I mean, there are people that swing trade for gains like that we just went over with this trade. I mean, literally, there are people who take trades that take them weeks to make that much money. For instance, the average return, I think that, like if you go to like some Edward Jones fuck or something, they say like, what is it? Somebody tell me if I'm wrong. It's like 7% a year on stocks. Like that's what you should expect per gain per year or some shit like that. It's like you just hit that in what 11 minutes. So that's why I like those kind of setups. But well, on that note, I'm gonna hop off here. If any of you guys have any questions on the internal structure stuff we went over, or anything else, at me, just DM me, whatever. Because I know it's super super fucking confusing, and I know that I just want to help however I can because once you gain that understanding, you're one step closer to being able to trade without being emotional because you understand what's going on. You're not going to get scared out of your positions. You're just going to have a better footing and a better foundation to build on if you can understand market structure. But as always, I appreciate you guys. If you have any questions, again, just hit me up. But I will see you guys tomorrow. I might do a live trading stream during the day tomorrow. I'm not 100% sure yet, but I'm definitely going to start doing those for you guys here soon. That way we can kind of catch some of these moves that are too quick to type. Because like for instance today, I know some of you guys were that was because I didn't signal Neo, but It's like literally, I mean, some of these trades, they, go from really good risk to reward to, within 5 minutes, the risk reward is cut into thirds. So then it's just like, I'm not gonna signal that to somebody because I wouldn't take it. But yeah, I'll go on live here starting soon, so that way we can kind of catch these together, and you guys can benefit off those too. But until tomorrow, I'll see you guys later. Be safe if you're trading tonight. Don't degen too hard. I'll see you guys.